Hi, I am Dr. Badrun and I am a powerlifter. I've always been interested in strength sports. In fact, the very first home team NS strongman competition, I think in 2005, I participated. I was one of the finalists. Then in 2006, I had the opportunity to further my studies in Melbourne, Australia. That's when I competed in equipped powerlifting under Powerlifting Australia with the Melbourne Uni team. My coach was Robert Wilkes, and from him I learned a lot about powerlifting, about the rules, about the sport itself, and that gave me a lot of encouragement and a lot of enthusiasm for the sport. So once I came back to Singapore in 2009, there wasn't any powerlifting as a sport in Singapore. Then I dabbled in strongman for a few years. Then in 2014, I met a group of people headed by Tan Se Yong. In 2014, we formed the first Powerlifting Singapore committee. And that's when Powerlifting Singapore was born. So from then on, there was no looking back. It changed the scene, the sport scene, the strength scene in Singapore forever. So in the early days of my powerlifting career, the personal challenges include getting the right gear, getting the right equipment, because it's not like right now where you can even get it online easily, can get from Shopee easily. Back then we have to order directly from the States or from Europe, and then you might get the wrong size. You get the wrong size and then you're screwed, you know. You either have to send it back or just have to suck it up and order another set. For program wise, I was lucky. I was still in touch with my coach. I followed my old coach program. There weren't much information online, you know, and there weren't much tutorials online either. A lot of the same old thing, unlike now where I think there's too much information now. Back then, it was quite limited with respect to the information. The awareness of the sport itself is not as high. I cannot just go to any gym. Some gyms don't even have a squat rack. Some gyms don't even have a deadlift platform. Don't talk about Eleco bars. Back then, it's just those normal VP bars, no calibrated plates whatsoever, and just rubber plates, you know, they're not of the cob size. I go around with a measuring tape to make sure they are what's the right height, what's the comp spec, you know. So these are some of the earlier challenges. Me and my teammates, we just make do with what we have to the best that we can, you know. When we first started powerlifting in Singapore, right, the scene was such that our sport, powerlifting, was considered to be a very, very fringe sport. It was more like a novelty sport. Because everybody knew what squats, bench and deadlift. Everybody was benching, right? But to put it all together in a proper format, in a proper strict format, and put it on the platform with all the strict rules and regulations of IPF, that was not very well known yet. We have evolved from being a very fringe sport and where only a select crazy few want to be a part of, to something that is not mainstream yet, but definitely more well known. The numbers that they are participating in powerlifting has increased exponentially, and that has also reflected in the number of the powerlifting gyms from 0 to I don't know how many now, to even regular commercial gyms having squat racks, having deadlift platforms, and even Eleco bars. That is amazing. So the acceptance of powerlifting as a sport has actually evolved positively from an unknown, previously weird sport to something that is actually more well known and people are more accepted by a lot of the youth and the lifting community, the strength community in Singapore. How the lifters train have also changed. Last time people would just train anyhow, you know, they wear anything. Now you can see newbie lifters, they're coming in wearing singlets, they're wearing competition t-shirts and lifting, and they only want to lift in Eleco bars, you know. You can see the evolution of the sport there. I think I helped in some ways, apart from helping to set up the sport, right? I also helped by spreading the love of powerlifting with my SG powerlifting team and guiding a group of youths. And then the way we use now, they are adults, they are much older now. But I inculcate in them the discipline of powerlifting, the importance of right technique, right form, and the importance of being focused on the sport, at the same time of having a balanced life life, work, and also sports all must be balanced. And from that team, there's a lot of other teams that also have cropped up. So I think this culture of having teams is actually very important, because powerlifting is, even though you are on the platform individually, it's not an individual sport. It's actually a team sport where you need a team of like-minded people to push you, to motivate you, to push you to greater heights. In this powerlifting journey of mine, I actually feel very privileged, and I feel very honored that I'm part of this journey of powerlifting in Singapore. All right, building the sport from scratch to what it is now, to me that's one of my biggest accomplishments in this sport. And now I can go to almost any gym, I can see a squat rack, I can see deadlift platforms, right? That to me is the most amazing part. For example, this Arc Block gym have how many squat racks? Have 4 deadlift platforms. So I go to my other gym, another Anytime Fitness gym, they have 3 Eleco bars. That's the most amazing part about the sport. And personally, well, I had a few records, right? So I had a squat record, a deadlift record. I think I still have the total records. But that, this kind of accomplishment is a very personal thing. Nobody would recognize you for having a record. It's no big deal, right? Just for yourself. And for me, the sport itself has actually benefited me a lot with respect to my mental health, with respect to my physical health, and with respect to my overall discipline, and being able to balance, to having a good work-life balance within life, my commitment to the community, and also my health. You see, the sport forces me and then makes me want to continue and train and be healthy for myself and my family in the future. If you are interested in taking up powerlifting, do it. It's an amazing sport. It's surrounded by a good group of people, enthusiastic group of athletes. There's a lot of us right now. And then we have a very good Powerlifting Singapore committee in charge of the sport. And there's a lot of meets. Every few months, every couple of months, there's a meet. So if you want to be a part of it, don't look back. Most importantly, you need to find somebody you can trust who can guide you along the way. You need to have somebody to guide you. If you can find a friend, an experienced lifter, do it. If not, find an experienced coach, ask around, find somebody that you have the same alignment with, you can get along with. That's most important. Once you have a program, stick with it. Hang in there, find the right person to guide you, and don't be disheartened with any initial mishaps or any initial failures. Hang in there, and welcome to the sport. Locally, to me, the local lifts that were important were actually when we first broke the 300 kg deadlift barrier. If I'm not wrong, Nelson Chui did it, but Derek Kim also did it as well. So, but Derek Kim was much more impressive because he's not a super heavyweight, and then he did get the 300 kg deadlift barrier. That was impressive. Top 5 powerlifters for me, not just the actual lift that they lift in competition, but actually also their attitude, their strength, their enthusiasm, and their passion for the sport. Number 1 would be Clinton. Clinton is actually one of the, to me, very impressive. He was top few in the world, and then he went off for a while, then he came back, right? So that's impressive. And he's now the president of Powerlifting Singapore. So he shows he's not just there as an athlete and as a coach, but he's there to contribute back to the sport. Number 2, Farhana is impressive as well. She keeps on chipping at the world record, her own world record. That is impressive. Number 3, I would have to be biased. my friends lah, Shaiful and Yasir. Both of them, I trained them in the early days. I brought them into powerlifting, and then for the first few years, I trained them, I coached them. Then after that, they move on. They are still competing regularly. And lastly, up and coming ones, it's hard to say because nowadays there are a lot of young lifters who are very strong. I would say that's about it lah. Yeah, my most memorable powerlifting experience is actually my first meet. I believe all lifters will have that. We will have that very, very memorable first meet. You can fail, you can get all whites, you can get 9 out of 9 lifts, but the first meet will always be special. So mine was in Mildura, 700 kilometers away from Melbourne. So me and my friends, we drove 700 kilometers overnight, 7 hours from Melbourne just to go for powerlifting the next day. That was my first time doing my first meet ever. First time putting on a bench shirt and a squat suit. It took me half an hour to wear the squat suit. It took me half an hour to wear the bench shirt. The actual bench, it was a low number. I think only 120 or 130. It took about 5 seconds for the bar to go down to my chest because the shirt was that tight. It took 5 seconds to go down, pause. It took 1 second to go up. So it was an amazing experience actually. I'll never forget that. Alright, that's an excellent question. So SG Titans is an enthusiast lifting strength group. Okay, it started in Marsiling. I wasn't there actually at the very early days. It started from the active SG gyms, and then a group of them wanted to do strongman, and then I came in 2009. But then we already had a storeroom for Marsiling CSC. We pitched in money to get the strongman equipment. We had a basketball court to train in. So we train every Thursday evening and Sunday evening. So we coach each other, we push each other. We had equipment like 250 kilo tires, 300 kilo tires. We had yokes, we had farmer's walks, we had ropes, we had anchors. So we had stones, we had natural stones, we had endless stones we also had. So whenever we come together, we push each other. We push each other to the limit and to find our limits. And but at the same time, we coach each other. We try to improve each other's form. We share supplementation. We share gear. We share things like knee sleeves. We were wearing Tommy Kono sleeves. And then when we went for competition overseas, like Orang Kuat Sabah, Tun Tavakas, we blew the competition out of the water, man. That was actually amazing times. Yeah. Oh, that's a very easy question. We both know who that person is. That person is Nas. I met him at True Fitness Gym in Tampines. I saw him deadlifting like 180, 200 for reps. Then I went up to him. Bro, you should be competing. Then he told me, Bang, I know you compete also, right, Bang? Yeah, I compete. Then I said, yeah, you should be competing, at least enter powerlifting, you know. Then I think he competed in 2015. I have the photos on my Instagram actually. His first few meets, and then he was amazing, man. That guy is just a perfect powerlifter, especially for bench and for squats. He's just perfect. He's just built for bench and for squats. But yeah, life gets in the way, and then he has other priorities. But in my heart of hearts, at that time when he was there, I was like, this guy would have gone onto the Asian scene easily, would have toppled records easily at that time. You know, sorry Nas. I know you're great. You could have been great. You can still be great if you want to. Powerlifting Singapore literally was the first federation to be set up in Singapore. We brought powerlifting, legit powerlifting to Singapore. Then after that came along the SPA, right? The problem with that, in our point of view, was that it diluted the scene because at that point, the number of athletes were limited, the number of enthusiasts, the number of volunteers were limited. And to us, it seemed that SPA is diluting the scene, and then it causes some confusion with the lifters, right? Because of Article 14 in the Constitution of the IPF, that causes a little bit of confusion, right? So, in fact, part of this rivalry resulted in this T-shirt. This is one of the first few Powerlifting Singapore T-shirts. Look at the writing at the back. The first in strength is to emphasize that Powerlifting Singapore, we were there first. We were the first Powerlifting Federation. Yeah, but all that is behind us right now. Yeah. There's a very tricky question. First and foremost, my heart is with Powerlifting Singapore. First and foremost, my heart is with the sport of powerlifting. All right. IPF is not a perfect federation. There has been some controversies within IPF, and then it affected people that are known to me, people that were close to me. All right, and I did not like it. The local scene has my support 100%. I purposely back away because my time is over, and then I want new blood, new people to grow the scene. But the international federation wise, there's some issues still at play there. Okay, so whether I'll move on to another federation, at the moment, no. Okay, because I do not see anything that will drive me out. It will be more of a push factor than a pull factor, because I am aware of the politics and also the other federations, what they represent, how they compete. If one federation is the rules are so enticing to me, maybe can compete wearing sarong, can wear sandals, and then, wow, that's so cool, right? Maybe at that point in my life I want to compete wearing sarong and sandals, then maybe I'll join that confederation. But at the moment, no, because I find that IPF rules, the IPF format is the most ideal for powerlifting at the moment.